Hey team, welcome to the Kasper Konnect, where we use technology to bridge the gap between the office and the field. We are so grateful to be with you today and hope you get something amazing out of this. Today we're going to be talking about one of our values.
Stewardship.
All right.
So as we've been going through our values and just kind of talking through each one, we've been explaining to you guys and kind of helping to maybe like get to the point of what does it look like? And so as we talk about stewardship for us as a company, what does stewardship look like for us? And so I would kick it off to you guys. What pops in your head as you would maybe even say, what is stewardship?
Well, I think stewardship in a very basic sense is really acknowledging that everything we have is not ours. And so that is even as simple as the breath we breathe. That's a gift from God. And from a basic standpoint at work is that every tool, when we get the tugging trailer, when we get a threader, when we get any kind of tool, that is Kasper Electric's tool. And so we need to take care of it as if it's not our own, right? I was raised as leave everything better than how you found it, right? And so that's kind of the concept of stewardship in a very basic.
So while I recognize that is a good perspective for all of the families that we employ, our perspective is that that tool's not even Kasper's. You know, so the idea of ownership, I go back to like Native Americans. It's like, how do you actually own the land? Isn't it for everyone to utilize? And what the Bible says is the earth is the Lord's and everything in it, which is Psalms 24:1. And that's our perspective. So we're just asking that people, everybody, whether it's, you know, I hope our customers recognize that too. It's like, you know, you don't own our technicians' time. You don't own project managers. You don't own our team. You know, we are all trying to steward the resources that we have been blessed with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that you guys are saying. It's not ours, but stewarding it means treating it like it is. Like you want to take care of it to the utmost ability that you can with the highest level of care, as if it did, you know, it was yours.
Yeah.
You know, it's like for me, we spend a lot of time with our children's friends. And they're at our house all the time, and you know we're taking them to and from sports and all that kind of stuff. And it's like they're not my children, but when they are in my care, I care for them like they are my children. I love them like they're my children. I do whatever they need to do, make sure they have everything. And so it's the same thing. It's we're stewarding that which is not ours, like it is ours.
When you say that, what came to mind is ownership is not possession; it's responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the idea of, you know, we want people to own their responsibilities.
Yeah.
We want them to just really, that's what you can own is the responsibility. You don't we don't own anything. We have papers and titles that say this is mine and this is yours. But it's like, man, does that really like weigh when it hits the fan? It's like, is anyone actually going to care about that piece of paper?
Right.
So whose is it anyways?
Right. And God can take it away at any point in time.
Yeah.
It's his, you know, it's his under his control.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting is like we kind of shifted because you guys are talking about it as if you treat it better because you're taking ownership in it. But I actually think of it the opposite of that. I actually will treat something, if it's yours, I'm going to actually treat it better than if it's mine. It's kind of funny. It's like usually if you go to an electrician's house, there's things in their own house that they've done that's like,
Shoemakers' kids never have shoes, right?
I think of a buddy of mine, like he didn't have a panel cover on his panel in his house ever. He was like, right? But it's like if I'm going to borrow your vehicle,
Right.
when I bring it back, I'm actually going to clean it before I bring it back. I want it to return it back to you in better condition than the way I found it. Where it's like with our own vehicles, it's like, doesn't bother me.
It's like your kids when they come back from other people's houses and the other people are like, your kids are so amazing.
Yeah.
And you're like, what kids are you talking about?
My kid went to your house?
I'm sorry. Which ones?
Yeah.
Which one do you think is mine?
So we've got like kind of an idea going on. So like, let's bring it down practically. What does it look like in the field? What does it look like in the office? If we were going to kind of help drive stewardship, and we're kind of been defining it like carefully and responsibly entrusting carefully and responsibly managing what's been entrusted to you. What does it look like?
Well, I think about like what's been entrusted to you. A position of leadership, other team members have maybe been entrusted to you, resources from tools or, computers or, whatever tools or resources we've given and entrusted to you during the time that you're working, your time, right? You can be a really great or a really poor steward of your time. It's like you have 8 hours, of work here today. How can you steward that time to the best of your ability, to the best, fulfillment of the company? And so you can steward all of those things in a good, healthy way or an unproductive way.
I think of the tangible things that we can touch, like the chipping hammers and the dies. So when we're punching holes on the knockout sets, it's like those are easy things not to steward well. So stewarding that is very important, but it's in some cases, in our case, I would say it's the intangibles, which is the most important things in life, which is relationships, which we've all kind of talked on that. It's like we have 8 hours a day. We're typically working with somebody else, whether that's someone who's helping us get the job done or the customer that might be right in front of us. And just stewarding that relationship, I think, is by far the most important thing we can steward. And if that is the focus, it's likely that the other things are going to come in alignment. Like if I'm trying to steward a great relationship with an apprentice that I'm trying to bring up to the mechanic level, I'm going to lead by example by stewarding those that knockout set well, because I may expect them to do the same thing.
And I think if you had to summarize it and kind of into one key takeaway is like stewardship isn't perfection, it's intentionality. Right? It's being intentional with the relationships, with the tool, with the vehicle, with any of those things. It's just being about intentional. And really taking care of what's been given to you.
I think we have a lot of great and simple examples of how to steward the tangible things. Drew, you've been moving this organization to ask 3 questions, which I think is one of the best ways to steward relationships. Well, you want to reiterate that?
Yeah. So the goal for our organization is that every person's getting asked 3 questions, and those 3 questions is what is going right, what's going wrong, and how can I help? And so you all should be experiencing those questions, and I'm getting the opportunity to go around and ask people, hey, when was the last time you heard 3 questions, or asking the 3 questions to the person themselves. But those questions help to create the opportunity for us to understand we are stewarding, or we have an opportunity to steward better, and then we can have an opportunity to steward right now. I was dealing with the situation where one of our guys was having a vehicle issue, and he just said, I have a problem. And he's like telling me, I was like, well, I'll help, And so it's like we took care of it right then and there. And now it's like we're actually helping to provide a better vehicle opportunity for him. So I think we want to make sure that intentionality comes across in many different ways. And even I was thinking of the story. We had the situation where we were meeting with CJ yesterday and some of the guys, and he was talking about how he was looking at the plans before it was ever coming down his way. He was making the time to step in to understand that he was going to be able to actually take care of the job beforehand. And I think those are those things of that intentionality, however it comes before the project, while we have the project, or while we're working with the people, we have the ability to make sure that we can be right there taking care of someone with the ability to impact their day or impact their opportunity in a significant way. And so that stewardship becomes a huge value for us.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in with us, and we look forward to having you jump in next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.